He's been met with nothing but controversy here since arriving to the Chicago area under so-called Operation Midway Blitz.
America, we just witnessed one of the most successful immigration enforcement operations in modern history. U.S. Customs and Border Protection is officially exiting Chicago after completing their mission in what they're calling a resound success. But here's what's really pathetic. While CBP agents are celebrating their victories, community activists are scrambling to assemble whistle kits and obstruction tools to help illegal immigrants evade the next wave of ICE enforcement. These sanctuary cities imported millions of illegals to pad their voter base, and now they're having meltdowns because most of them are getting deported under Trump's American First policies.
Volunteers put together kits. Each included a Know Your Rights card and whistle.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This story perfectly shows the difference between real law enforcement success and the desperate attempts by liberal activists to obstruct justice. While federal agents are removing criminals and restoring order, these community organizers are literally teaching people how to interfere with federal law enforcement operations. Let me break down CBP's successful exit from Chicago and what they accomplished during their operation. According to federal authorities, Border Patrol agents are rotating out of Chicago after completing their enforcement mission in the area.
Multiple sources tell ABC News Border Patrol Commander Greg Bavino is expected to be leaving the Chicago area within the coming days.
Border Patrol Commander Greg Bavino and his team are leaving to continue their mission somewhere else. But this doesn't mean immigration enforcement is ending in Chicago. ICE and other CBP assets are staying to continue the work. The fact that they're rotating to other cities shows this is always part of a larger national strategy. Chicago was just one target in a comprehensive immigration enforcement operation that's now expanding to other sanctuary cities. The numbers from Chicago's operation are absolutely staggering and shows exactly why CBP is declaring victory. Since the surge began in early September, officials say more than 3,000 people have been taken into custody.
Chief Bovino said in a sworn deposition that he oversees more than 200 Border Patrol agents who were assigned to the Chicago area in early September. Since that surge began, officials say more than 3,000 people have been taken into custody.
Over 3,000 arrests in just a few months shows the scope of the illegal immigration problem that Chicago's sanctuary policies have created.
We've received a lot of thanks, again, from United States citizens and those legal immigrants. They're concerned that individuals come into this country commit crimes.
People are finally beginning to realize that illegal immigration is not a victimless crime. While CBP is celebrating their success, of course, you guys, community activists are scrambling to assemble what they call ICE watch kits to help illegal immigrants evade the next wave of immigration enforcement.
Day of action.
Rather than sit around and complain, just try to get up and get involved. Feel like I'm playing a small role in changing what's going on in the streets of Chicago.
Northside residents huddled in this small space for a small act they hope will make a big impact.
These aren't concerned citizens. They're organized obstruction specialists who are actively working to interfere with federal law enforcement operations. They're putting together whistle kits, guys, cameras and other tools specifically designed to help criminals evade arrest.
Shame on them for using our pain.
So again, you are expecting him to make good on that post that they're headed to Little Village today?
He might come, he might not come. So that's why we're calling on all our brothers and sisters, not only here in Little Village, but in Rogers Park, in Humboldt Park, in Logan Square, in Gage Park, McKinley Park, all the south side, to be ready, because he might not come here and probably go and attack other neighborhoods.
Listen to this. Shame on them for using our pain. Really? Federal agents removing criminals from your community is using your pain? Maybe the pain is coming from the criminals they're removing, not the agents doing their job. Let's use the interviews with these community activists to contradict their narrative about what's really happening in Chicago. These people are more concerned about protecting criminals than they are about the safety of their own communities.
They're not going after criminals. They're going after people that are taking their kids to school, people, street vendors, people going through laundry. So we know this administration is not targeting criminals. They're targeting innocent people here in my community.
But CBP just arrested over 3,000 people. You don't get those type of numbers by targeting innocent families.
While we are here standing in solidarity with one another and honoring our veterans, Gregory Bovino is out doing photo shoots, making fun of Little Village, and harassing our Chicago families.
Even Governor Big Bop Pritzker was attacking federal agents, saying Greg Bovino is out here doing photo ops, making fun of Little Village and harassing our Chicago families. But homie, these aren't Chicago families. These are illegal immigrants who broke federal law to get here. These community activists aren't just providing moral support. They're actively teaching people how to interfere with federal law enforcement operations using organized obstruction tactics.
The organization Indivisible Chicago hosted Pack and Protect events across the city. Volunteers put together kits. Each included a Know Your Rights card and whistle.
The Ice Watch kits contain whistles to alert neighbors when federal agents arrive, cameras to record enforcement actions, and instructions how to legally obstruct immigration operations. This is organized interference with federal law enforcement.
We're going to welcome him with our whistles, and we're going to blow the whistles, and we want to make sure that we escort him out of our neighborhood.
This is literally describing a plan how to use a whistle and escort federal agents out of their neighborhood. This is not peaceful protest, guys. This is organized obstruction of federal law enforcement operations, and it's kind of humorous. The reason these community activists are so desperate to obstruct immigration enforcement is because these major sanctuary cities imported millions of illegals to help with their voter base, and now they're upset because most of them are getting deported.
So Mayor Johnson also made a comment as well, said that, quote, Bovino did nothing to make our city safer. He will not be missed in Chicago.
Our favorite mayor, Mayor Mohawk Brandon Johnson, said Bovino did nothing to make our city safer. He will not be missed in Chicago. Really? Really, Brandon Johnson? Removing over 3,000 illegal immigrants didn't make your city safer? That's exactly the kind of delusional thinking that created Chicago's problems in the first place.
We're calling on the Commission on Human Rights to come see the barbaric way they're coming into our neighborhood, how they're arresting 6-year-olds, how they're pepper spraying children, and this is something that Greg Bambino is very proud of. And they're doing a show for their MAGA supporters, and it's a political fight between the governor and the Republicans, and they're using us as political pawns.
But here's an amazing news flash. They're not political pawns. They're illegal immigrants who broke federal law and are now facing consequences. Despite what the activists claim, many Chicago residents are actually grateful for immigration enforcement that removed criminals from their communities. Chief Bovino said they received thanks from United States citizens and legal immigrants who were concerned about crime. The fact that CBP is rotating to other cities shows that this enforcement strategy is working and expanding. Charlotte, North Carolina has been identified as the next target, which means other sanctuary cities are about to experience the same successful operations. The activists assembling whistle kits and obstruction tools shows how desperate they are to protect the illegal immigrant population that these sanctuary cities depend on for their political power. They imported millions and millions of illegals to pad their voter rolls, and now they're panicking because Trump's enforcement is removing their political base. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Federal agents are removing criminals and making communities safer, while activists are teaching people how to obstruct law enforcement and protect criminals from facing consequences from breaking federal law. America, CBP's successful exit from Chicago after arresting over 3,000 illegal immigrants proves that immigration enforcement works when you actually commit to doing it. The fact that they're rotating to other cities shows this is part of a comprehensive national strategy to restore the rule of law. While federal agents are celebrating their success in removing criminals from American communities, liberal activists are scrambling to assemble obstruction kits and teach people how to interfere with law enforcement operations. These community activists aren't protecting innocent families. They're protecting the illegal immigrant voter base that sanctuary cities depend on for their political power. They imported millions of illegals to pad had their voter rolls, and now they're having meltdowns because Trump enforcement is removing their political foundation. The ICE watch kits and whistles and cameras aren't about community safety. They're about organized obstruction of federal law enforcement. These activists are literally teaching people how to help criminals evade arrest and avoid deportation. Greg Bovino said they received thanks from United States citizens and legal immigrants who were concerned about crime. The real community wants these criminals removed, but activists want to protect them because they represent political power for the Democratic machine. The success in Chicago is just the beginning. Charlotte, North Carolina is next, and other sanctuary cities should prepare for the same comprehensive enforcement operations that will remove illegal immigrant populations they've been harboring for political gain. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.